Now, your assignment requires you to find authoritative source material in the form of essays or articles published in books, newspapers, magazines, and academic journals. And there are two main types of database that are most useful for this kind of search: library catalogs and indexing databases. And it's important to keep in mind the differences between the two. A library catalog, like NYU's Bobcat, is a database of records for every item held in the library's collection. This includes visual and audio materials in various formats, books, both print and electronic, and periodicals, or newspapers, magazines, and academic journals, again in both print and electronic formats. Now, while a library catalog may link to the electronic edition of a book or journal, it does not store these within itself or in its own database. This means that you cannot search the full text of books or journals through the database, just their catalog records. Also, all the catalog record for a newspaper, magazine, or journal will tell you is which issues the library has. A library catalog does not index the contents of these publications, which means that you cannot search at the article level in a library catalog. Generally, the only information you can search in a library catalog is the author, title, and any subject classifications applied by catalogers. There are also databases that index the contents of periodicals. Here you can search at the article level. Many of these databases hold the full text of most of the articles they index, and in those cases where a database does not have full text, the record will usually include an abstract, a paragraph summarizing the article's contents. If you were starting out with some very specific or narrowly focused search terms, such as black widow spiders or myths about spiders, it might make more sense to start with a library catalog and look for books with relevant chapters or essays. But when your search is targeting a much broader field, in this case bias or concepts of objectivity and subjectivity in science, it's often more productive to begin by searching one of the indexing databases. There's a lot more territory there to search, not just title and subject headings, but also abstracts and/or the full text of articles. This means that there are a lot more places for the database to look for your search criteria, and these databases tend to be fitted with more flexible and nimble interfaces that allow the searcher to exploit all of these possibilities. It's important, however, to remember that every research enterprise is different. In some cases, it will be more productive to start with a library catalog and then move on to indexing databases. In other cases, it will be better to proceed in the other direction. Many indexing databases focus on the academic literature in particular disciplines. If you're doing research in a particular area, the library websites of both NYU Poly and NYU Washington Square have lists of databases that index the literature in particular disciplines or subject areas. For this assignment, I'd recommend that you use multidisciplinary databases that index content across different disciplines and in different types of periodicals, including newspapers, magazines, and academic journals. The two largest databases of this type, or rather suites of databases, are EBSCOhost and ProQuest.